DN's Edu Corner.
Hi! Welcome to our tutorial about Laws of Exponents. And dito pag-uusapan natin ang tungkol sa mga integral exponents. Now, let's have a short recall. Ano nga ba ang tinatawag nating exponent? So, sa ating example, we have 3 to the 4th power. Ang 3 ay tinatawag nating base na nakasulat into a regular number. So, ito yung mas malaking number. Tapos, ang 4 naman na nakasulat ng mas maliit na nasa bandang itaas naman ay tinatawag nating exponent. So, ang exponent ay tinatawag din nating index o kaya naman power. So, kagaya ng binanggit ko kanina, ito ay binabasa as 3 to the 4th power or 3 to the 4th for short. Ang exponent tells the number of times a number is multiplied by itself, or it simply means repeated multiplication. So, ang 3 raised to the 4th, ang ibig sabihin, 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So, mayroon tayo ditong 4 na 3 na i-multiply. So, yun nga yung ibig sabihin ng ating exponent or index or power. Now, what are integral exponents? So, in algebra, for example, we have a to the nth power, which is n yung ating exponent. N should be a whole number that is an integer. Kaya siya tinawag na integral exponent. And since n, or the exponent, tells the number of times the number is multiplied by itself, i-consider natin sa pag-simplify ng isang expression na may exponent yung mga positive integers or positive integral exponents. Let's have some examples. Our first given is 2 to the 3rd power. So our exponent is 3. This means 2 times 2 times 2. So minsan nagkakaroon din ng common error sa pagsisimplify ng isang expression na mayroong exponent. So, ang base natin dito ay 2. Minsan, ginagawa is 2 times 3, which is wrong. It should be 2 times 2 times 2. So, 2 times 2 times 2, that is equal to 8. So, 2 to the 3rd power is equal to 8. Let's have another example. Y to the 4th or y to the 4th power. This means y times y times y times y. So, mayroon tayong 4 na y na ipinagmumultiply. And of course, this is equal to y to the 4th or y to the 4th power. Now, let's have these two givens. We have here negative 5 squared or negative 5 to the 2nd power. Ang ibig sabihin ng expression na ito is yung negative, hindi siya kasama sa pag-square. So, ganito yan. Nasa labas yung negative, and then we have 5 times 5. So, meron tayo ditong dalawang 5 na ipinagmumultiply. So, tandaan natin, ihiwalay natin muna yung negative. So, imumultiply muna natin yung dalawang 5 since we have here 5 to the 2nd power. Okay? So, simplify. 5 times 5, that is 25 times yung negative sa labas, we have negative 25. Now, ito naman, we have the square of negative 5. So, ibig sabihin, since nasa loob na ng parentheses yung ating negative, kasali na siya doon sa ating pag-i-square. So, we have the square of negative 5. Ang ibig sabihin nito is negative 5 times negative 5. Okay? So, negative 5 times negative 5, that is equal to positive 25. So, kita natin yung pagkakaiba. Kapag yung negative, okay, ay hindi kasali sa ating i-square, so, wala siya sa loob ng parentheses. Kapag naman kasali yung negative sa ating pag-i-square, nasa loob siya ng ating parentheses. So, ito yung kaibahan ng ating dalawang expressions. Now, let's proceed to the different laws of exponents or rules, okay, sa pag-simplify ng expressions with exponents. Now, let's have our first rule, which is raising a number with 0. So, ang exponent natin dito ay 0. So, ano ang rule kapag ang isang expression or isang number ay mayroong exponent na 0? So, it simply means that that is equal to 1. Let's have some examples. We have 4 to the 0th power. This is equal to 1. Okay, another, z to the 0th power. So, this is also equal to 1. Okay, so, for example, meron tayong 1 million to the 0th power. So, that is still equal to 1. Now, let's proceed to the second rule. We have a to the first power. Okay, this simply means that a to the first power is equal to a. Kapag 1 ang exponent, so ang ating simplest form is simply our base. For example, we have 2 to the first power, that is equal to 2. Next, we have m to the first, that is equal to m. So dito sa ating mga examples, kung ano yung base natin, yun yung ating nagiging simplest form kapag 1 ang ating mga exponent. Now, our next rule is raising a number with a negative exponent. So, we have here a to the negative nth power. Okay? So, dapat gawin nating positive yung exponent dito. Ang gagawin natin is kukuhanin natin yung reciprocal ng base. Okay? And magiging positive na yung ating exponent. Kagaya nito. Nasa denominator na yung a to the nth power, yung n positive na siya. So, mayroon na tayong numerator dito ng 1. Okay? So, ganun lamang ang mayayari kapag mayroon tayong negative na exponent. Kukunin natin yung reciprocal ng base, tapos magiging positive yung ating exponent. Alright, let's have some examples. Okay, we have x raised to the negative 4th power. So, since negative yung exponent natin dito, this will become 1 over x raised to the 4th. Okay? So, nagkaroon tayo ngayon ng denominator na x raised to the 4th power kung saan positive na ang kanyang exponent na 4. Tapos, nasa denominator na ito. Okay? So, mayroon tayong numerator na 1. Let's have another example. We have 5 raised to the negative 3rd power. So, ang base natin na 5 ay mapupunta sa ating denominator at ang kanyang exponent na negative 3 ay magiging positive 3 na. Again, ang ating numerator ay 1. So, we have 1 over 5 to the 3rd power. Simplify natin yung 5 to the 3rd. Magiging 5 times 5 times 5 ito. So, 1 over 125. So, ang 5 to the negative 3rd power is equal to 1 over 125. Next example. Paano naman kung ganito ang ating given? We have 1 over x raised to the negative 4th power. Nasa denominator yung ating expression na mayroong negative exponent. So, ang ating given ay magiging x raised to the 4th. Okay, paano nangyari yon? Yung 1, siya yung nasa denominator na. At hindi na natin isinulat yung ating denominator na 1, understood na yon na ang ating given ay mayroong denominator na 1. And yung x raised to the negative 4 kanina ay nasa numerator na. Kaya naging positive na ang ating exponent na 4. So yung 1 over x to the negative 4th power is equal to x to the 4th power. Now, what if we have this given? So, anong mangyayari dito sa ating given? Okay, so ito lang yung kanyang katumbas. Magiging positive na yung exponents nila. So, yung numerator kanina na m na may negative 3 na exponent, nasa denominator na siya. Tapos, positive na yung exponent na 3. Tapos, yung denominator kanina na n na may negative 4 na exponent, magiging numerator naman. Okay? So, simple lang. Kapag may negative exponent tayo, from numerator siya, halimbawa, magiging denominator para maging positive yung exponent. So, ganun lamang ang ating gagawin. So, ang ating katumbas na m to the negative 3rd power over n to the negative 4th power is equal to n to the 4th power over m to the 3rd power. So, our next rule is this one. Okay? So, multiplying expressions with the same base. So, ang gagawin natin sa mga expressions na ito na may parehong base, okay, pag-a-add lamang natin ang kanilang mga exponents. Kagaya nito, magiging a raised to the m plus n. Kokopyahin natin yung base, tapos ipag-a-add natin ang kanilang exponents. So, let's have some examples. We have x squared times x to the fourth power. This will be equal to x raised to the 2 plus 4. So, kopyahin lamang natin yung base ng dalawang expressions na x. Tapos, yung kanilang exponent, ipag-a-add lamang natin. So, yung 2 plus yung 4 na exponent ng pangalawang expression. So, this will become x to the 6th power. Kasi isa to sa common error. Okay? Kapag same yung base, okay, ng expressions na pinagmumultiply natin, hindi natin i-multiply yung kanilang exponent, kundi i-add natin ang kanilang mga exponent, kagaya ng ating ginawa sa ating given. Okay? So, x squared times x to the 4th power is equal to x to the 6th power. Next given. 3 squared times 3 cubed. So, same pa rin ang ating base, which is 3. Kopyahin lamang natin ang ating base, and same lamang, i-add natin ang kanilang mga exponents. So, 2 plus 3. Okay, so ito yon. So, magkakaroon tayo ng 2 plus 3 sa ating exponent. Okay? So, i-add natin ito. It will become 3 to the 5th power. Tapos, i-simplify natin ito since we have here a base na number. Simplify natin. So, this means 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, which is equal to 243. Okay? So, yung expression natin kanina na 3 squared times 3 cubed is equal to 243. Next rule. So, we have here a repeated multiplication of a number raised to a power. Kung makikita natin dito, iisa yung base natin which is a na may exponent na m. Okay? Na in-erase pa natin sa isa pang exponent which is n. So, kapag ganito ang ating expression, ang gagawin natin sa exponents ay i-multiply natin. Okay? So, let's have some examples. So, we have here x to the 5th power raised to the 3rd power. So, ang gagawin natin is i-multiply lamang natin ang mga exponents na ito. So, this means x to the 5th power times x to the 5th power times x to the 5th power. That is the same with x to the 15th power. Okay, na magiging answer natin. So, we simply multiply. 5 times 3, that is 15. So, our expression is equal to x to the 15th power. Let's have another example. So, we have quantity 4 cubed squared. So, mayroon tayong exponent na 3, okay, ng ating base na 4. Ang gagawin natin is i-multiply lamang natin yan dito sa isa pang exponent which is 2. So, 3 times 2, that is equal to 6. Magkakaroon na tayo ngayon ng expression na 4 to the 6th power. So, we have 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. That is equal to 4,096. Now, let's have this rule. Dividing expressions with the same base with integral exponents. Okay? So, ang gagawin natin dito is kokopyahin lamang natin yung base and then isusubtract natin ang kanilang mga exponent. So, yung kanina, kapag may parehong base tapos pinagmumultiply, ini-add natin ang exponents. Dito naman, kapag may same base tayo, okay, at dinidivide natin ang mga expressions na ito, magsusubtract tayo ng ating mga exponents. Now, let's have some examples. So, we have y to the 7th power divided by y to the 4th power. Since pareho tayo ng base, which is y, kopyahin lamang natin yan, and then subtract natin ang mga exponents. So, 7 minus 4. So, y, okay, tapos may exponent na 7 minus 4. Simplify natin. 7 minus 4, that is equal to 3. So, this expression is equal to y cubed, or y to the 3rd power. Next example. We have 2 to the 10th power divided by 2 to the 8th power. So, Again, pareho tayo ng base. Okay? Kopyahin lamang natin yan and then isubtract ang mga exponents. So we have 10 minus 8. 10 minus 8, that is equal to 2. So mayroon na tayong expression na 2 squared or 2 to the second power. I-simplify natin ito dahil ang base natin ay isang number. Okay? So 2 squared, that is equal to 4. Now let's proceed sa ating next rule. Ang next rule natin is a product raised to an integral exponent. So this time, mayroon tayong magkaibang base na ipinagmumultiply. So yung exponent na m, i-distribute natin sa bawat exponent ng base sa loob. So yung mga base na a at b, may exponent na 1. So magiging a raised to m times b raised to m, yung ating given expression na quantity a times b raised to m. Let's have some examples. Okay, so we have here quantity x times y, okay, raised to 3. So yung exponent na 3 na yan is i-distribute natin. So remember, yung x at saka yung y ay parehong mayroong exponent na 1. So that will become x cubed times y cubed. Okay, so yung 3, naging exponent na ngayon ng ating base na x at base na y. So, yung mga exponent ni x and y na 1, minultiplyan lang natin ng 3. Next example. Okay, so we have quantity 2 times y or 2y raised to 4. So, this is also one of the common mistakes, okay? So, kapag mayroon tayong i-distribute na exponent, hindi lamang doon sa exponent ng variable, kundi doon sa exponent din ng ating base na number, kagaya ng 2, dito sa ating given. Okay, so this will become 2 to the 4th power times y to the 4th power. So, yung 4, minultiply natin sa mga exponents na 1 ng 2 at saka ng y. Now, since we have here a number, okay, na base, simplify natin ito. This means 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So, ang simplest form nito is 16 times y to the 4th power. And lastly, we have this rule. Okay, yung fraction na i-raise natin into an integral power or integral exponent. So, anong mangyayari? Kagaya kanina, i-distribute natin yung m sa numerator at saka sa denominator. Kaya itong quantity a divided by b raised to m magiging a raised to m divided by b raised to m. Let's have some examples. So we have here quantity x divided by 3 squared. I-distribute natin ngayon yung exponent na 2 sa mga exponent na 1 ng x at saka 3. So that will become x squared divided by 3 squared. So isimplify natin itong may base na number na 3 squared. So our expression will become x squared, kopyahin lamang natin sa numerator, divided by 3 squared or 3 times 3, that is equal to 9. Okay? So, from quantity x over 3 squared, naging x squared over 9 yung ating expression. Next given. We have quantity 1/5 cubed. So, yung 3, multiply natin sa exponent ni 1 at saka ni 5 na parehong 1. So, that will become 1 to the 3rd power or 1 cubed over 5 cubed. Simplify, since parehong number yan, yung ating mga base, our expression will become 1 over 125. 1 times 1 times 1, that is 1. Tapos 5 times 5 times 5, that is 125. Now, let us use those rules or laws of exponents, okay, sa pagsisimplify ng isang algebraic expression. Let's have this first given. We have quantity a to the 6th power times b to the negative 2nd power times the quantity a to the negative 13th power times b squared. So, isa-isahin natin ang ating given. Kung makikita natin dito, mayroon tayong magkakapareho na base. Okay? So, i-apply natin dito yung rule natin na multiplying expression with the same base muna. Okay? Kuhanin muna natin yung may mga base na a. Tapos ang gagawin natin is i-add natin yung mga exponent nito. So we have here A, okay? Kunin natin yung base na A, kopyahin lamang natin. Tapos yung mga exponent, okay, yung unang A, ang exponent ay 6. So kopyahin natin yung 6. Plus, since nag-multiply tayo, okay, addition ang ating gagawin sa exponent. Kunin natin yung exponent ng pangalawang A, which is negative 13. Tapos yung B naman, ganun din ang ating gagawin. So we have times B raised to yung negative 2 natin na unang exponent ng B, kopyahin lamang natin, plus yung pangalawang exponent, okay, ng B, which is positive 2. So ito na yon. Simplify natin, i-add natin ang mga exponent. 6 plus negative 13, that is equal to negative 7. That's why we have A to the negative 7th power times yung B naman na negative 2 plus 2 ang ating exponent, negative 2 plus 2, that is equal to 0. That's why we have here B to the 0th power. Then simplify natin. Since mayroon nga tayong negative exponent at saka 0 exponent, so i-apply natin dito yung mga rule natin kapag mayroon tayong negative exponent at saka 0 exponent. Okay? So, yung B raised to 0 or B to the 0th power, this is equal to, tama, that is equal to 1. Okay? Tapos, yung A to the negative 7th power, para maging positive yung exponent, kailangan maging denominator yung ating base na A, tapos magiging positive yung ating exponent na negative 7. So, ito na ang ating magiging final answer. Since 1 nga yung B raised to 0, okay? Tapos kukunin natin yung reciprocal ng A, tapos magiging positive ang ating exponent na 7, may iwan is yung 1 sa ating numerator over A to the 7th power. Naging positive na yung negative 7 na exponent kanina. At napunta na siya ngayon sa denominator. Next given. We have quantity negative 3xy squared times the quantity 8x cubed y all over the quantity 2x squared y, okay, raised to 2. So, isi-simplify natin dito yung numerator at saka yung denominator natin. Multiply muna natin yung ating negative 3 at saka positive 8. So, we have negative 3 times positive 8. Answer is negative 24. Next, i-multiply naman natin yung may mga pareho na base. So, dito, we have x. Automatic, ang ating exponent dito ay 1. Tapos, we have x to the 3rd power or x cubed. Since pareho sila ng base, i-add natin ang kanilang mga exponent. So, again, itong x may exponent na 1. So, we have 1 plus yung exponent ng isa pang x na 3, that is equal to 4. Kaya mayroon tayo ditong x to the 4th power. Okay? Next, yung y naman. Since nagmumultiply nga tayo, i-add natin ang mga exponents ng y. So, dito sa una nating expression, ang exponent ng y ay 2. Tapos sa pangalawa naman, ang exponent ng y ay 1. So, magiging 2 plus 1. Kaya mayroon tayong y cubed. All over, sa ilalim naman or denominator, mayroon tayo ditong exponent na i-distribute sa nasa loob ng parenthesis. Okay? So, yung 2 natin, magiging 2 squared na ito. 2 squared or 2 times 2, that is equal to 4. Tapos, we have here x squared. Yung 2 na exponent ng x, imumultiply natin by 2. Kasi nga, in-erase pa natin yung exponent na 2 with another exponent na 2. So, 2 times 2, that is 4. Kaya mayroon tayo ditong x to the 4th power. And lastly, ang exponent ng y dito is 1 times yung exponent natin na 2. So, 2 times 1, that is equal to 2. Kaya magkakaroon tayo dito ng y squared. So, we're not yet done. Isi-simplify pa natin ang expression na ito. Kailangan muna natin itong i-divide. Negative 24 divided by 4, so that's equal to negative 6. Next, same yung base natin. I-apply natin dito yung rule na kapag may parehong base, tapos nagdi-divide tayo, isusubtract natin ang ating mga exponents. So we have 4 minus 4, that is equal to 0. Magkakaroon tayo ngayon ng x raised to 0, which is equal to 1. Okay, so ilagay lamang natin dito yung 1. And lastly, yung sa mga mayroong base na y, we have 3 minus 2, that is equal to 1. So, kokopyahin natin yung base na y, tapos yung exponent natin na 1 na nanggaling sa 3 minus 2. So, hindi ko na isinulat or hindi na natin isusulat yung exponent na 1. So, understood na yung y ay may exponent na 1. Simplify natin ito. Negative 6 times 1 times y, that's equal to negative 6y.
Kung nagustuhan mo ang video na ito, huwag kalimutang pindutin ang like button, mag-subscribe, at i-hit ang bell button para sa marami pang videos.